my name is Courtney Seiberling. I am the author of Yogas, Yamas, and Niyamas, 10 Principles for Peace and Purpose. And what follows is a physical practice of one of these principles. So if you like what you experienced or are interested in learning more about these principles and yoga philosophy, you can buy my book on Amazon. Namaste. So today we're going to do a Santosha practice, and Santosha translates as contentment. So this means being okay with things as they are. This can be really challenging because we can anticipate wanting things to be different, or if I had just had it like that. But when we really own and just be in the moment, in our bodies as they are, we can really find moments of truth and authenticity and balance. So we're gonna really focus today in our physical practice by just being okay with where our bodies are today. So every day is gonna be a little different. I've been practicing for a number of years, and I still find that different shapes are different days, that some days I can float around my mat and be totally great, and other days that's a harder practice. So just really acknowledging and being where you are today. So we're gonna start standing. So go ahead and take a stand at the top of your mat, coming into Tadasana, so mountain pose. So the feet are as wide as the hips, palms come out to the side, shoulders roll down the back. Go ahead and close your eyes and just notice how it feels to stand in your own body today. So what are you bringing to your mat? What is your energy? What is your emotional state? How is your body feeling today? And then just go ahead and draw your hands into heart center and honoring our intention, making a little pact with yourself to accept and own where you are today. And then go ahead and flutter the eyes open. We're gonna need 2 blocks for practice today. So go ahead and grab your 2 blocks or your 2 books, and you're gonna place them at the top of your mat, and you can have them at different heights. So you'll start on one height and see how that works out. About shoulders distance. You're gonna place your hands down on the block, and you're gonna go ahead and press down into your left foot and extend the right leg back. So we're coming into a supported standing split. And this is already probably getting something going in the mind, getting something going in that left hip. Make sure that you're releasing in the neck. The foot comes about hip height, or maybe it's lower depending on your ability level today, or maybe the toes all the way down. So really being honest about where you are in your body today. One more big breath here. And then exhale, replacing that right foot down by the left foot. And we'll switch it to the other side. So really grounding down into that right foot. Extend the left leg back. Letting the head go, letting the neck be soft. Keeping a little flex in that left foot. And then on your next exhale, releasing the foot down to the mat. So we're gonna take a hip stretch here. You're gonna lift your right foot up and over your left. You'll take your blocks with you, put a little bend into your knees. So it's like you're standing the opposite way that you usually stand. Lift your heart and then go ahead and forward fold here. So this will be a big stretch for the back of the left foot, probably a big stretch in the upper left hip. And just see where you're at today. So if this is too much too soon, maybe you come up on your blocks if it's too much. Or maybe you don't need the blocks. Maybe you put the blocks to the side and your fingertips dangle. A couple more breaths here. And then your next inhale, halfway lifts, and then you'll uncross your leg and you'll take it to the other side. So this time the left foot comes up and over the right foot. So you're standing the opposite way that you're used to. Little bend in the knees. And then hands to blocks or hands on the floor. Breathing into the outer right hip, the back of the right leg. Letting the head be loose. And again, owning where you are in practice today. So if this is feeling too tight and you're getting more stressed out by holding that pose, maybe come up a little bit. Or maybe you bend your knees more. Find the posture and the shape that works in your body today. So one more nice big inhale here. And then on your exhale, you'll uncross the feet. And then we're going to come to some balancing. So we'll roll it up to stand. So you're at the top of your mat. Take your hands to heart center, or if maybe you want a little bit more stability, hands to the hips. Feet are hips distance. We're just going to come up to the toes. So this is a really good calf workout. It's also really good to steady our mind and work on our balance. So make sure that you're looking at one point. And then exhale, the heels come down to the mat. So we're going to do a couple more of those. Gazing at one point, inhale to lift it up. Breathing into the backs of the legs, lifting the heart up into the hands. And then exhale, the heels come down. And just notice if you're getting frustrated. Inhale, lift it up. Maybe you give yourself a break. Maybe you don't even do this today if it's too much. Or maybe you just take a little bit of a lighter approach. Exhale, heels come down to the mat. Take your feet together. Let's inhale, lift the arms up. One sun salutation. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Let's exhale it back to our plank pose. So hands come down underneath the shoulders, heels reaching towards the back of the room, pressing into the knuckles, lifting the belly into the spine. And we're going to come in for a little bit of challenge here. So option to put the knees down if that's where you're at today and you need some support. Option to come into child's pose if it's just not happening today. Or we're going to come into forearm plank. So taking your right and your left elbows down where your hands were, and then we'll press it back up to regular plank. So we're going to come for a few of these, coming down. So they're almost like little army crawls, pressing it up. And if you need to take rest, take rest. Right elbow down, left elbow down. Last one of these, pressing it up, regular plank, and then send your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Letting the head go, letting the neck go. Inhale your right foot up to the sky, and then pull your right knee in towards your nose. Step your right foot where your right hand is. We're coming in for warrior two. So heel to arch alignment. Arms spread wide to the sides, reaching forward, reaching back. Maybe a nice big bend into that right knee, maybe lightening up if it's too much. So coming into your warrior two, really sinking down into that right thigh, fingertips really active and spread wide. And then all kinds of options here. So we're either going to take the right forearm to the right thigh and the left arm comes up. Or you can take your fingertips inside that right foot. Or if you're somewhere in between those, you take the block underneath the fingertips or the palm. Reaching up, pressing down. And then maybe take the arm up and overhead. It's almost like you're going to give a high five to the earth. Twist your heart up to the sky. And then inhale back up for warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down, stepping back through your plank pose to your downward facing dog. Inhale to lift the left foot up to the sky. Pull your left knee in towards your nose. Step the left foot where the left hand is, spinning the back foot flat. Coming in for warrior two on the left and arriving into this shape. So if you're feeling good and energetic today, nice big bend into that left knee, or maybe you back out a little bit. Fingertips spread wide, gaze over the left middle finger. And then we're going to come into our side angle pose. So either left forearm up to the left thigh, right arm reaching overhead, or you take your fingertips inside that left foot, or you take your fingertips or your palm to a block. So twisting the heart to the sky, maybe gazing up at the top hand or looking down at the foot. Maybe it's too much and you just come into your child's pose. So owning where you are. One more nice big inhale here. And then pressing yourself back into your warrior two, cartwheel the hands down, and stepping back to your plank pose, and then downward facing dog, or you take your child's pose if you're feeling like you need 5 breaths of rest.
Owning and knowing yourself always. Accepting yourself always. Pressing yourself back up to hands and knees. Let's come to the back with a block. So we're going to set it up for a bridge series. So you're going to take your feet underneath your knees. The fingertips will graze the heels. And you're going to press down into your heels, lift up with your thighs. And we have all kinds of options here. So option one is just to stay here with the thighs pressing up, the bottom loose. Or you can grab onto the outsides of the mat and tuck your shoulders underneath you. Or you can clasp the hands and tuck the shoulders that way, really pressing down into the heels, lifting up with the thighs. And then on your next exhale, let everything come down to the mat. And take an inhale and an exhale there. And just noticing where you are. So if that felt really good and you're ready and amped up for round two, you'll do the same thing you just did. Or if you're noticing that you're starting to feel really tired and you just need a little bit of a break, you're going to grab one of your blocks and you're going to press down into your heels and you'll slide the block underneath your sacrum. So right where your pant line is. So it should feel like a nice resting point, and place your palms up to the sky. So take a few breaths in whatever variation that you're in now. And then either staying on your block if you're already there, or if you're coming out of the pose, choosing to maybe slide a block underneath you, or we're going to come in for a third round. So again, pressing down into the heels if you keep moving forward, moving on, tucking the shoulders, or just staying on your block and resting and taking care of yourself if that's where you're at today. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, everything comes down to the mat. So only and if only you just have a ton of extra energy to offer today, coming into your third bridge or a wheel, or for most of us, we're going to take the supported bridge. So placing the block underneath the sacrum, palms come up, shoulders tuck, close your eyes. Remembering your breath. Maybe saying, I accept you, body, to your body. I know it sounds cheesy, but sometimes we have to cheat it until we actually believe it. If you're feeling really good here, please stay here. Or you can take your legs up the block. So this takes a little bit of core strength. And maybe just see what feels better in your body today. So some days this might feel really good. Other days having and keeping the feet down will feel better. So really just understanding and knowing yourself in as many moments as you can, so that you can show up to your life and to other people as you are, not wanting it to be any other way, being with the moment that is. A few more nice big breaths here. And then on your next exhale, if your feet are not already on the ground, place them on the mat. Press down into your heels to lift your hips, slide the block away, and then we'll come in for happy baby. So grabbing on, all kinds of options here. So you can either grab onto the backs of the thighs, the backs of the calves, or if you can reach the outsides of the feet, grabbing onto the outsides of the feet. You want your low back on the mat here. So if that's not happening, take it down a level. Take it down to the calves or the thighs. Closing the eyes here. Breathing some space into those hips. On your next exhale, releasing yourself long, and we're going to set it up for fish pose. So you're going to have your hands really tight in towards your body. You're going to press into your forearms and you're going to come up on your elbows and take the top of your head down to the mat, pointing your toes, breathing nice and deep across the chest, noticing any emotions that pop up, how it feels to breathe across your heart space. One more nice big breath. And then exhale to release yourself out for your final rest. Savasana, palms up to the ceiling, tucking your shoulders, letting your feet flop open, closing the eyes. And just letting yourself be held by the earth in whatever body you're in today. And then go ahead and find a little wiggle in your toes and your fingers. Maybe rolling out the ankles and the wrists. And then next inhale sends your arms up and overhead. Toes point towards the front of the room. Rolling over to your right side, making a little pillow with your inner arm. And then gently pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat, just like we started. Closing your eyes and maybe offering your palms up to the sky here. And just noticing and acknowledging any shifts, anything you learned about your body today in space. Maybe accepting one last time anything that did or didn't happen on your mat, and knowing that you always have a choice in every new moment if you didn't do so good. We're all human, we're all giving it our best go, and sometimes our best go isn't the best. And drawing your hands to heart center, bowing your chin into your chest. And maybe this week taking the practice of Santosha off your mat by noticing any time in your thoughts when you start to think, oh, I'll be happy when so-and-so happens, when I have this thing, when I don't have that thing. And finding yourself in that moment and choosing to shift your thought pattern to, I am okay now. I already have everything I need now. The light in me acknowledges the light in your beautiful heart. Namaste.